Thanks for joining us for another edition of Weekend Winners. In this episode, we plan on catching up with Taleah McMullen. As we know, Taleah is one of the ambassadors for Team Teal here in Queensland. That campaign officially launched this week and the girls are off to a good start. Hopefully that continues on Saturday night. We'll speak to Taleah about her book of drives, and Angus Garrard also has a nice book of drives on Saturday night. So we'll speak with both and hopefully we'll find a winner or two for this night event program on Saturday night. Taleah McMullen jumps in the hot seat to go through her book of drives for Saturday night's program. We've got 9 races, and as we know, Team Teal, the campaign officially launched on February 1. We're a few days in now here in Queensland. Our ambassadors are Taleah, along with Chloe Butler, and the girls are off to a flying start. Taleah was in the winner's circle on Wednesday night, and she's in the hot seat with us now. Taleah, appreciate the time.
Thank you for having me.
A big honour to be one of the ambassadors, and it's a great cause, a very worthy cause.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome. You put on the colours and you go out there and you feel very proud to be able to drive around in them. It's pretty special and it makes you want to win that little bit more.
Yeah, this campaign goes for 6 weeks, raising awareness and importantly funds in the fight against ovarian cancer. So it's a great cause. So as you said, it just gives you that little bit more incentive to get these horses across the line first.
Yeah, it does. It's just awesome to be a part of it.
And the camaraderie with the girls, that they're all behind it?
Yeah, definitely. The whole harness racing community is definitely behind it and everyone helps out in their way and does their bit to put in for Team Teal.
Yeah, great stuff. Let's get right behind it. Let's go through your book of drives on Saturday night. We start with race 2, Arthur Lowe. He's off the second line, 2 off the second row. He's going well. You've been with this guy his past couple of starts. You're hoping for a little bit of tempo early?
Yeah, he's been racing really well. He just can't seem to find a draw, which does hurt a little bit. But, you know, it's a trailing draw, so it's not that bad for him. So hopefully, yeah, if the tempo's on and he ends up somewhere handy, then I think he'll be thereabouts at the finish.
And just looking at that front line, it should generate early pressure.
Yeah, definitely. So he's got a nice trailing draw and been racing, yeah, in good form, so hopefully he'll be there at the finish.
Okay, race 4, Goal Kicker, runs from gate 1. There's plenty of power on your outside, including Miss Ruby Sunshine. She's a high-quality mare, Miss Ruby Sunshine. She looked good in a recent trial. How does Goal Kicker measure up in this race?
Yeah, it's a step up to what she has been racing, although she does, when she's just off the speed, you know, and can get somewhere handy, she does race really well in any class, really. So she has been competitive on a Saturday night before, so I wouldn't rule her out. I think Miss Ruby Sunshine will be really hard to beat, and there's a few other really nice mares in the race as well. But she's got the draw, and she'll have an easy run on the fence, so I think she'll be thereabouts at the finish.
Okay. Is she one of those mares, Taleah, that, you know, just gains that little bit of confidence being close to the pegs?
Yeah, definitely. When you have to kind of go back on her, and if she gets too far back and has to make up a lot of ground, she doesn't seem to finish off that well. But when she can find the fence and be somewhere handy, then she keeps on trying and she does her best.
Okay. Race 5, you've picked up the drive here on Major Do It. It's a good pickup drive as well. He's flying, this guy.
Yeah, he's going really good. I haven't driven him before, so I'm excited to be able to drive him. And it's probably not the best draw 3, a little bit awkward with the speed drawn to the inside, but I think we'll still be somewhere handy from the draw. And yeah, I think he'll run a really nice race.
The fact that it's a small field and there's only 1 off the second row, that's a big plus for Major Do It with that gate.
Yeah, definitely. I think Will the Wizard will be really hard to beat from the draw, but we'll still be chasing hard and trying our best.
Yeah, and the distance is going to suit Major Do It. He looks like he could just run all day.
Yeah, he seems like a pretty tough old horse, so yeah, I'm excited to be able to drive him this week.
Okay, race number 6, you're down to drive Ideal World. You know this guy well. You've had a few drives behind him in recent times, and he's a horse that just tries his heart out. He was terrific last week against One Change. Yeah,
I've been pretty eager to get the drive back on him, so I'm very excited to take the reins again this week. He was unreal last start, just to get beat by One Change. It was a pretty super run, so yeah, very excited to get back on this guy. He's a pretty cool horse, and I think he'll be quite a good chance that day.
Can he lead this field? There's pace drawn to your inside. Can he lead it though?
He is pretty quick. I think he's probably one of the quickest horses I've driven out the gate, and he shows that week in, week out. So I think hopefully we'll be able to find the fence. We'll be giving it a red hot crack.
I think you'll be very confident if you do lead, and if you don't have to use him too hard early, if he can get a fairly soft lead, he's going to be mightily hard to beat.
Yeah, I think so. He's been racing really well, so I don't expect any less Saturday.
Okay, that's Ideal World Race 6, and in race number 8, Feel the Thunder. He's a last start winner. He's rising in grade. Can he adapt here?
Yeah, it's again a bit of a step up in class for him. However, he does seem to follow speed pretty well, so I think if he just lands somewhere handy, he doesn't have to do much work, then he should be, you know, not far away at the finish there. There is a couple quality horses like Boom Shakalaka and Bomb Suit. They will be hard to beat, and he's probably maybe just a fraction behind them, but you got to give it a crack anyway.
Yeah, the mile's going to suit your guy?
Yeah. He'll, just got to drive him for luck a bit there, but hopefully he'll be in the finish thereabouts.
Yeah, he was good coming off speed last time out, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's he can follow speed all right, so hopefully he can show a little bit more this week.
Okay, a couple of handy drives there for you on Saturday night. Which one are you looking forward to most?
I'd have to say Ideal World, especially after his run last week. I've been excited to get back on, so hopefully he'll be hard to beat.
Okay, we'll take the tip. Race 6, number 5, Ideal World. Keep booting home the winners and doing those colours proud.
Yes, I will be trying my best.
Appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
Thank you.
Angus Garrard now joins us to go through his 3 drives on Saturday night and their key drives as well. Angus, appreciate the time.
No worries. Thanks for having me on, Chris.
Rock and roll icon. You've been with this big guy since he's come up from Victoria. He went back-to-back and then he was unplaced last time out, but he had a tough trip off a bad gate. It's only a small field here on Saturday night. Will the Wizards likely to be favourite, and rightly so? His recent form is good, but he is rising in grade. How do you assess it with Rock and Roll Icon?
His first 2 runs up here were awesome, Chris. He couldn't have been any more impressive. He was probably a tad disappointing last week, to be honest, but as you said, he had a really tough trip. Small field does suit, but it's sort of a sticky draw to sort of make a decision from there. Being the lone second line runner, as you said, Will the Wizard's probably the likely leader, and he tends to roll along in his races, so we've sort of got a bit of a difficult decision to make, whether to stay on the fence and hope for luck or see if we can move away early.
Is he good enough to come away from the inside and sort of chase down Will the Wizard?
I think if he sort of showed his form from his first 2 this week, he probably is good enough, but it's certainly going to be tough. We'll just sort of have to wait and see.
Will the Wizard, as I said, likely to be favourite, and rightly so, but he's rising in grade. This is a good test for him.
Yeah, it certainly is. There's sort of a few there off the front that sort of like to get forward and roll along as well, but he's sort of been super impressive since his couple of wins there through the carnival, and he's just gone from strength to strength those last few months, so he's it is a step up, but he certainly looks the one to beat.
Okay, the fact that it's 2,138 metres, can Rock and Roll Icon knock off Will the Wizard? His best form is generally at the mile. He's proven it this trip, but does that give you some sort of hope?
Yeah, I don't think the trip should worry him. He was awesome over the mile the first 2. Last week, as I said, he was probably a tad disappointing over the 21, but probably just put that down to some real hard trips, and hopefully he steps back up this week and he's on song again.
Okay, let's move to race 6 here. You're driving Mr. Donald. And this guy comes into this race boasting really good form and, importantly, lands a really good gate. I'm sure you're looking forward to this drive.
Yeah, certainly. He's a horse that's been flying lately. He's loving the conditions up here and racing really well.
Last time out he was 3rd, but the run was so good. He had a second row draw. It was a really quick last half, and he was chasing home some good ones in One Change and Ideal World. You meet Ideal World again here, but he couldn't have done any more last week, Mr. Donald.
No, certainly. He was enormous, as he has been sort of most of his runs up here, really. So hopefully he brings that good form again, and he should be thereabouts.
How do you see it early? Power Surge does have gate speed, and we know Ideal World will run the gate, so where do you want to be after 200 metres?
I mean, ideally we'd like to be in front, but we'll just sort of have to see what Power Surge does. Obviously she does have really good gate speed. She was sort of driven a bit more conservative last week. Whether they sort of want to use the draw to their advantage second up. We'll have to wait and see, but ideally we can get across sort of before the first corner and dictate from there.
Okay, good drive there, Mr. Donald in race 6, the last, the trot. You know this guy will. Sir Fahrenheit. He's been unplaced at his past 3. He won 4 runs ago. Can he take this race on Saturday night?
Yeah, I think if he sort of, the real Sir Fahrenheit shows up, he certainly can, Chris. He was racing really well. He sort of got into a bit of bother here at Redcliffe, and then he's probably been a tad sort of disappointing his last couple, but it wouldn't surprise me to see him bounce back.
Okay, Skyline, he looks like he's going to be hard to beat. Jetty, are you ready? And then you've got those class runners off that 20-metre back mark, Garland Green, G Up Nitty and Greg the Great. You've got to get away well.
Yeah, definitely, Chris. These open class trots up here are super hard lately, so it's sort of just whoever gets the best trip at the moment. Sort of, if we land a nice posse early and get a nice trip into the race, he'll certainly be thereabouts.
Would you be more confident if it was the longer trip, the 2,600 metres where he holds the track record?
Probably doesn't really worry me too much, Chris. Sort of any trip where there's a genuine tempo, he seems to like it, so I don't think it worries him.
Okay, well, there are 3 really good drives there on Saturday night. Is there one in particular you're really looking forward to?
Probably Mr. Donald, Chris. He's been racing awesome and he's got a pretty good draw to contend with, so that's certainly a plus.
Yeah, it's going to be a good clash, that. Mr. Donald and Ideal World, both coming out of that same race last week. Angus, as always, appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
No worries. Thanks, Chris.
A big thanks to Taleah and Angus for their insight on Saturday night. Hopefully there's a few winners for both as well. Looking for the best bet, I think we go with race 4, number 6, Miss Ruby Sunshine. She's a more than talented mare. She's been out of sorts, out of luck in her runs this campaign, but she's been back to the trial. She trialled exceptionally well. She was lit up in that trial, fired off the arm, led, rated fast time. I think it's going to be a similar scenario here on Saturday night. So marking her as the best bet. Race 4, number 6, Miss Ruby Sunshine. If you are gambling this weekend, please do so responsibly. We'll see you trackside. Action gets underway at 5:11.